Hindus across the globe unite against attacks on the community in Bangladesh as concerns continue to mount. Uproar over Kolkata trainee Dr. Abhaya's death. Hospital staff continues to hit the streets for a second day. Yet another shocking civic apathy in national capital. 13-year-old electrocuted to death. Forces launch all-out operation in Jammu and Kashmir, but Farooq Abdullah claims terrorist army link. Adani Group and SEBI chairperson deny Hindenburg's latest allegations.
Presenting by Royal Global University. Northeast can't wait. Padho, kuch bano.
Well, let's begin this bulletin with the focus on Bangladesh, as the interim government there struggles to contain the radical elements running riot and unleashing violence and arson on the minority Hindus. Deposed former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has claimed that the US is behind her ouster. A report in a top Bangladeshi daily citing an Indian media outlet came out with this, saying that the Awami League chief, who's currently sheltered in India, identified Washington among the foreign powers that were behind the tumultuous events leading to the fall of a government on August 5. Meanwhile, the besieged nation saw Justice Syed Rafat Ahmad take over as the new Chief Justice a day after his predecessor, Justice Obaidul Hassan, stepped down in the face of an ultimatum from radical Islamists. Watch this report for all the latest developments so far as Bangladesh is concerned.
As Bangladesh slipped further into disarray, with the minority Hindus facing persecution and wanton acts of violence, deposed former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina made some explosive claims. In her first reaction since her ouster and flight to India, Hasina accused the US of being behind the violent protests and uprising that rocked her regime and eventually led to her fall. A top Bangladesh daily cited a report in the Indian media to claim that Hasina, in a message to party supporters, said that the US was among the foreign powers that orchestrated her exit. The report further quoted Hasina as saying that she could have remained at the helm if she had acceded to the US demand of a base on the St. Martin's Island. However, the Daily stopped short of independently verifying Hasina's comment. Her son Sajib Wazid had earlier claimed foreign involvement behind his mother's ouster, hinting at a role by Pakistan's ISI, China, and even the US.
Spoken quite clearly about the Pakistani involvement in this. And I've said also on my program that the Jamaat-e-Islami is nothing but an agent of the ISI. So is this the undoing of 1971?
Well, 1971 was undone in 75, and my mother came and fixed the country again. And so this is the third time this has happened in Bangladesh. And yes, absolutely, I have no doubt ISI has a hand in this. I have no doubt other foreign powers that oppose our government have a hand in this.
What do you really feel about the Americans supporting the generals? Saying well done to the generals?
Well, this is what the Americans do around the world, and every time their policy fails, and now they have turned Bangladesh, which was a developing country, which was a success story, an Asian tiger, now it's going to become like another Pakistan, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, besieged Bangladesh saw Justice Syed Rafat Ahmed come in as the Chief Justice in place of Justice Ubaidul Hassan, who was forced to resign after a dire ultimatum from Islamic radicals. Justice Ahmed was appointed to the top post by President Mohammad Shahabuddin on Saturday night. Earlier, student protesters were seen massing outside the Bangladesh Supreme Court, piling pressure on Hassan to step aside. As the new Chief Justice took over, Wazid made another sensational claim, saying that the protests threatened to storm the apex court and burn Hassan's residence to the ground. There were fears that the country's cricket administrative body could also be managed by an interim board, as all the top office bearers are in their hiding or their locations unknown. Meanwhile, more voices in India and across the world came out against the rising attacks on minorities in Bangladesh.
बांग्लादेश में जिस प्रकार से हिंदुओं का नरसंहार हो रहा है, हिंदुओं को सरेआम घरों में जलाए जा रहे हैं, मंदिरों को तोड़े जा रहे हैं, और इसका परिणाम क्या है? इसका परिणाम ये है कि पूरी तरह बांग्लादेश के हिंदू अल्पसंख्यक डरे हुए, समे हुए हैं। वो अपनी जान बचाने के लिए सीमाओं पे आ रहे हैं और सीमाओं पे रोका जा रहा है। आखिर जो नागरिक संशोधन बिल पास हुआ था कि बांग्लादेश पाकिस्तान के जो हिंदू बसे हुए उनको शरण दी जाएगी, यही वो समय है जब बांग्लादेश के हिंदुओं को तत्काल उनके लिए सीमाओं को खोला जाए और उनको नागरिकता दिया जाए और यहाँ पे उनकी जान बचाया जाए। नहीं तो वहाँ पे दरिंदे, भेड़िए, आतंकी जो कट्टरपंथी हैं वो चाहते हैं कि किस प्रकार के वहाँ के हिंदुओं को, जो 1971 में जब उस समय 18% हिंदू थे और आज 7% हो गए, उस 7% हिंदुओं को भी समाप्त करने पे तुले हुए।
As chaos and disharmony reigns supreme in Bangladesh, will the US come clean on whether it colluded with other foreign powers and forced a regime change in the country to meet its strategic goals?
Moving on to Bengal, the heat is well and truly on the Mamata government as it continued to face massive protests from the medical community over the grisly rape and murder of a female trainee doctor at the state-run RG Kar hospital in Kolkata. Junior doctors holding a sit-in on the RG Kar hospital compound demanded answers from the ruling TMC over the glaring lack of security at the hospital, even as the protests spread to SSKM as well. Meanwhile, the police took stock of the security lapses at the hospital. Remember, the cops were denying till yesterday that this was a murder. They were calling it a suicide. Now, of course, they are assuring that necessary action would be taken after review. But all through this, the report of post-mortem is still not being revealed. Take a look at this report.
The glaring lack of security at the state-run RG Kar hospital in Kolkata came under scrutiny in the wake of a bone-chilling rape and murder of trainee doctor Abhaya. As the protests over the horrific incident continue to get bigger and spread beyond the RG Kar compound to the SSKM hospital, the police are finally swinging into action. Meanwhile, the Federation of Resident Doctors Association threatened of the halting of medical services in solidarity with the victim. The Indian Medical Association has issued a 24-hour ultimatum. They have warned of a nationwide protest. While two guards in charge of the hospital's seminar hall, where the trainee doctor was found dead, was suspended for dereliction of duty, an accused has been placed under arrest. Sanjay Roy was a civic volunteer with the 4th Armed Forces. Republic spoke to the accused's sister-in-law, who revealed that his in-laws filed a police complaint accusing him of beating and torturing his wife. Medical services at the hospital were suspended after the savage rape and murder came to light. Doctors at SSKM sat in protest demanding that heads roll at neighbouring Arjikor over the shocking security lapses that have come to the fore after the incident. The opposition meanwhile continues to put the Mamata government and the police administration on the rack over the Arjikor incident.
एक डॉक्टर, एक पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट ट्रेनी को ऐसे खून कर दिया, ऐसे रेप करके खून कर दिया, उसका आंख से ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है, उसका मुंह से ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है, उसका प्राइवेट पार्ट से ब्लीडिंग हो रहा है, और पुलिस बोल रही है कि सुसाइड है। ये सुसाइड है? कोई निर्वस्त्र होके सुसाइड करता है? हाँ? आप लोग जो बोलेंगे हम लोग वही समझेंगे क्या? ममता बनर्जी क्यों बोला था सुसाइड? उनका सस्पेंड किया जाए, कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस को सस्पेंड किया जाए। क्यों पुलिस बोला था? क्यों फैमिली को पहले नहीं बताया गया?
Faced with mounting pressure, the Mamata government has a lot to answer for. Glaring security lapses have come to the fore, even as investigation continues, even as the political face-off continues. India is demanding justice for Abhaya.
After two Jawans lost their lives in a fierce exchange of fire with terrorists in the remote and dense forests of Kokarnag, a fresh firing began in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district earlier in the day. Meanwhile, a civilian who was injured in the encounter succumbed on Sunday, taking the toll to 3. But this report.
The forces continued to hunt for Pakistan terrorists in the dense and remote forests of Kokarnag in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district after two Jawans were martyred in the encounter that broke out on Saturday. Fresh firing was reported at the scene of the Anantnag encounter on Sunday. Meanwhile, senior officers of the Jammu and Kashmir police reached the encounter site as the cordon and search operation continued to track down and neutralize the cowards. According to reports, the fierce encounter broke out after a joint security team of the Indian Army, CRPF, and Jammu and Kashmir police came under heavy fire from terrorists hiding in the dense foliage of Anantnag.
Two Indian Army Jawans martyred and one civilian killed in South Kashmir's Kokarnag encounter. It was a joint operation of security forces receiving intelligence-based inputs about the presence of some terrorists in the Kokarnag's Ahlan area. After that, we have seen exchange of fire took place there, in which two brave hearts of Indian Army lost their life while fighting the terrorists in the difficult terrains in South Kashmir's Kokarnag. Also, area is being monitored with the drone surveillance. Jammu and Kashmir police officials reached the spot and area is being sanitized by the joint security forces.
In a separate operation, the forces engaged terrorists in a brief but intense gunfight in a remote forested area of Jammu's Kishtwar district. The gunfight ensued after the army, police and the paramilitary launched a search operation in the Nohata region following intelligence about the presence of terrorists.
Days ahead of the Independence Day, the security forces have trapped a group of Jaish-e-Mohammed in the upper reaches of the Kishtwar. Based on a specific intelligence input, the Kishtwar police along with the Indian Army and the paramilitary forces launched anti-terror operations in the Nonata area of the Kishtwar district, and during the operation, the security forces got hold of the group of terrorists of Jaish-e-Mohammed that is moving in the area, after which the encounter broke out at around 12 midnight, which went on for three and a half hours, and since then, the operations are resuming in the area. This group of Jaish-e-Mohammed is said to be the same group that has carried out the attack on the Indian Army's temporary operating base in the Chhatargala area of the Doda district on June 11, in which 6 army jawans and 1 policeman got injured in the attack. And since then, the group is on the move in the upper reaches of the Doda and is now trying to move towards the Dachan area of the Kishtwar to get a safe haven.
Terrorists have got everything. On the silver plate. So that is a problem. But problem, why is it so? Because we have so many security forces. Your narrative already says the army, paramilitary forces, police and everything is there. They should all be under one command and control. All intelligence agencies, security forces, everything reporting to one commander, one operational center. And that's how the orders should go. Then only the control is very quick. Quick control, feedback, quick feedback, quick orders, counter orders, everything is given very quickly. That is what is required here.
Earlier, Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi led all ranks of the Indian Army to pay tributes to the fallen bravehearts in Anantnag, Havildar Deepak Kumar Yadav and Lance Nayak Praveen Sharma. Meanwhile, the lobby is doubting and maligning our forces. Farooq Abdullah has made a shocking statement alleging an unholy link between forces and terrorists.
इतनी फौज है हमारे बॉर्डर पे, मैं समझता किसी भी मुल्क में ऐसी इतनी फौज नहीं। फिर ये लोग कैसे आ रहे हैं? ये दवाइयाँ कैसे आ रही हैं? मिले हुए हैं, हमारी बर्बादी के लिए मिले हुए हैं।
As the nation bids adieu to the fallen bravehearts of Anantnag, the forces remain determined in their pursuit of terrorists behind their killing.
What's up with Farooq? That's going to be our conversation later. But moving on for now and to the national capital, bringing back memories of the aspiring civil servant who was fatally electrocuted while wading through a flooded street in West Delhi's Patel Nagar in June. A 13-year-old boy died after accidentally coming into contact with an electric pole in the national capital on Sunday. The incident yet again raised concerns over lives being lost to criminal civic apathy in upruled Delhi. Watch this report for more.
In a shocking civic apathy that's coming to the fore in the national capital, a 13-year-old boy was electrocuted to death in the outer Delhi's Ranhola area on Sunday. The 13-year-old was playing cricket in an open field when he accidentally touched an electric pole supplying power to a nearby cattle shed in the Kotla Vihar Phase 2 area of Delhi. A PCR team arrived at the scene after receiving a word of the incident and rushed the 13-year-old to the nearby DDU hospital. However, the boy was declared brought dead on arrival at the hospital.
I'm in Delhi's Ranhola area where tragically a 13-year-old child had lost his life yesterday after being electrocuted. What we will show you are the visuals of that very playground where an academy, a cricket academy used to run, and the child had in fact come in to collect a ball of the cricket academy itself near the pole that we will be showing you. This is the pole where the electric current was running through, a loose wire was running through, and here the child had come in to pick up the ball, which is when he got electrocuted. What we are also learning that there was nobody to help the children despite several people present in the ground at that very minute. His two brothers were also present at that point near this area, and they had also faced current when they tried to save their brother.
The incident revived memories of aspiring civil servant who was electrocuted to death as he tried to hold an iron gate for support while trying to navigate a waterlogged street near the Patel Nagar metro station. A live cable from a damaged submersible water pump had come in contact with the gate, turning it into a death trap. As yet another life falls prey to the shocking civic negligence, the big question is, when will the ruling Aam Aadmi Party wake up?
These should be unpardonable public crimes, and that's going to be my focus. Join me to discuss that. Who's to blame for this kind of deaths because of civic apathy at 9:30 p.m. But moving on for now, former External Affairs Minister Kunwar Natwar Singh, breathed his last at 93 in Gurugram's Vedanta Hospital early in the morning. Prime Minister Modi and other leaders have extended condolences to his family and remembered his legacy. Listen in.
Diplomat, civil servant, and politician. K. Natwar Singh is no more. Natwar Singh passed away at age 93 at Gurugram's Medanta Hospital on Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. He served as the External Affairs Minister from 2004 to 2005 under UPA-1 government led by Manmohan Singh. Prime Minister Modi remembered Natwar Singh's legacy and said that he made rich contributions to diplomacy and was known for his intellect and prolific writing. President Draupadi Murmu also remembered Natwar Singh as a man of letters. During his distinguished career, Natwar Singh wore many hats. He was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 1984. He also served as ambassador to Pakistan and was attached to the office of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi from 1966 to 1971. Singh also authored several books, including The Legacy of Nehru, a memorial tribute, and My China Diary 1956 to 88. His autobiography is titled One Life is Not Enough. Natwar Singh left a lasting legacy. His last rites will be performed at the Lodhi Road Crematorium.